We're live, Jane.
That's
We're
good.
live. We are, and it's Stitchy Witchy Wednesday.
It
You're
is.
back in your old
Back
slot.
in the old slot, yeah.
It's like putting a nice, comfortable pair of shoes back on, isn't it?
It is.
That's where that came from. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Natasha Makes. It is Stitchy Witchy Wednesday, and we do have wonderful Jane Alcott with us this morning. Jane, we're back here again.
Yes, block of the month.
Yeah, we're on our holidays this month,
Yeah,
though.
we're in July, August.
August.
I don't even know where I am.
No. Well, we're actually in June.
Yes.
But we're working on August so that you at home can get your instructions and your fabric kits and have plenty of time to get started, make your block and have it ready for display in August.
Yes, I know what I've forgotten. I know I was going to forget something.
What's that?
The individual blocks.
Oh.
Got them ready to bring through, and I've left them on the
no.
side.
Okay, whereabouts on the side?
In the workroom on top of the light box,
And
I
let's
think.
see. We'll see now whether Team Makes are listening.
Yes, it'll be interesting.
SJ, could you pop a little message through to Team Makes, who may also not be paying any attention to that either, and we'll see if we can bring them through. But it's not the end of the world.
No,
because
it
we have all the
doesn't,
blocks here.
because we have them in the quilt.
We do. The first three, however, are missing because we've just folded it over to hotch it up a bit
Yes.
so you can see the bottom
So
part
that
of the
today's
quilt.
block is in the middle.
Yes. And so you can see the other ones that have been hiding up
Yes.
until now down behind the cabinet. Because it's getting there.
It
We're
is.
working our way through.
Working our way through.
I can't believe we've only got 4 blocks left
I
after
know.
this one.
It's amazing.
It is, isn't it? It is. And there are 4 of my favourites coming up as well. So, yes, how are you all? Shall we see if you can see and hear us? Because that's always a thing. Rona Milne says, good morning, lovely ladies. And your mum's around. She says, good morning, girls.
Morning,
I
Mum.
love how Kate calls us girls.
There's still girls to have.
Yes, good morning, Kate. And Pam says, good morning, lovelies, as well. So you can definitely see and hear us over on Facebook, YouTube as well. We are live also. Jane, it's been a right old week. We've been busy.
We have.
Doing all the shenanigatey things.
Yes.
We've got things prepped for next week. We've got things prepped for the week after.
Yes.
Got all sorts going on.
Yeah.
But we've also got some bolt ends.
We've been having a sort out, haven't we? Because
have.
we've got stuff coming in and we need the shelf space.
We do?
So we've got some beautiful fabrics here.
Yeah, a lot of it's K Facet Collective. So this is not, budget fabrics.
No.
This is premium designer fabrics that we have got in lovely
nice
big chunky amounts.
chunky bits that will work as quilt backings, clothing.
This was your brainchild, wasn't it, Jane?
Dash. Yeah, because I'm lazy. That's basically why it came about. Because Natasha had asked me to cut some into 1/2 meters, and I cut so many, and I was like, "Can we not just bolt end the rest? Nice
But
big chunk
also,
for quilt backs."
This is what you and I used to do. You'd be chopping something into 1/2 meters when we got the sort of end of a bolt where it wasn't enough for a show. Perhaps we'd got 3 meters, 2 meters, whatever left. You'd be about to chop them up into 1/2 meters, say for 1/2 meter heavens or whatever, and then you and I would be there with a little twitchy eye on some of them, going, "Don't cut that just yet. I think I'll take that home," because it's nice to have a big piece for backing
Absolutely,
quilts, dressmaking, larger projects, or just to
Borders.
get it out and stroke it and put it away.
Yes, borders of quilts as well. It's nice to have a good chunk because you can use it in your quilt and then for
Yes.
borders, or you can make clothing from it, or just have a nice big piece just to stroke it occasionally.
Which we like to do as well.
Yeah.
Jane and I are, first and foremost,
Fabric collectors.
yes, fabric collectors. I think that's fair. / potential hoarders.
Have a beautiful archive.
Yes, we do. Because you always need them. There'll be that project that comes up and you go, oh, I've got just the right piece of fabric in my stash. And you run and you
Absolutely.
get it and it's so exciting. And that's us. So Jane figured that it would be something the rest of you would enjoy. And when we have just got that little bit on the end of a bolt, it's taking up room, let's clear the shelves
Yes.
and make way for the new collections that are coming through. Because we're a really small team here in not enormous premises.
No,
So we need to make space.
this is right.
These are at 25% off today.
Wow.
So we'll go overhead cam. I'm sorry if some of them are sold out already, but quite a few of you are eagle-eyed. We've already had Inga in going, I need this. We've had to pull a load out. This pile was 2 taller than this.
Yes.
And we've pulled a load out that she's got to post out in orders for you. So if you got those, well done. But we'll perhaps go overhead. and have a
Yes.
little peep at these,
There's some
Jane.
gorgeous things in here.
Sylv says fabric curators, if you don't mind.
Exactly.
Well, very
Yes.
good. Excellent. Oh, Izzy, we're overhead done and you can't be seen. You could actually walk in front of the camera and everything.
Thank you,
He's brought us
Viz.
the blocks, so we can go through those in a minute.
She's a
Wonderful.
star.
She was listening. Oh! She did the automatic thing of turning the light off then. I love the energy saving words. Well done, but not while we're on air. Hey.
Rather not.
Did you see the hand to
She
mouth?
was
She was mortified.
We've
What
got
she's
some.
not realising is this great big studio light was still on, so it won't have made a
It
huge
wasn't
amount of
too bad.
difference.
No,
Oh, bless
it
her.
plunges into complete darkness.
Great stuff. This one I love.
It's pinwheels. Pinwheels in red.
It's lovely, isn't she?
It's gorgeous, isn't it? With those lovely purples and oranges. Nice chunky piece there. I think there's 2 meters on here.
It is designed by the wonderful Philip Jacobs. For
Yeah,
the
2 meters on there. Now, you know me, I love the stripy border.
Yeah.
2.4 meters here of the comb stripe purple.
Gorgeous. Jane, I feel this needs to go with the pinwheels.
Look, yeah,
though.
look at it.
They need to go together. Look at
Look
that.
at that. It would be
Aren't they
fabulous.
lovely?
Yeah.
They do look fabulous.
You can have really good fun with your blocks as well by using your stripes, alternating the orientation of them.
Yeah.
You can get some really fun things going on there. 2.4 on that one.
Very
This
good.
is a nice chunk of 3 meters of the rainbow. This is rainbow red. This is lovely. That's going to make a fabulous table
I
covering
thought you
for
were
the
going to say
summer
someone
garden.
very happy, Jane.
Well,
which would
yes,
have been
it
correct
would.
Also.
It would make someone extremely happy. But I could see this being made into a table cover.
Yeah.
Particularly
definitely.
for the moment, you know, when we've got this nice bit of weather that we're having at the moment outside, a bit of al fresco dining.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Or fabulous beach bags. Or
Oh, yeah.
something for pride as well. You know, our young people, a lot of them would love a rainbow because that's, again, very popular, a rainbow amongst the youngsters, for sure.
Well, yeah, and with it being Pride Week this week.
Yeah. Very appropriate.
And this is a bit of Brolly's. Now, this is Brolly's green. Look at that.
Stunning.
That's stunning. You can have fun with this.
You could, for sure.
Fussy cutting it, picking out shapes. Lovely.
And that's what I love about Cave's, you know, well, this is a Brandon one, I think,
Brandon's
wasn't it?
design, yeah.
What I love about the Cave Facet Collective is you've got those 3 together having their genius moments, and then Cave's absolutely fantastic way with colour, but they are always bold, impactful prints
Yeah.
with this just
This is
celebration of colour.
Brolly's blue. Now look at
Yes.
these 2 together. I think they really complement each other.
They so do.
You could have really good fun with
They
that.
so do. And the next one as well, which Jane and I have been squabbling over, so if someone buys that, it stops us from arguing about who's going to have it. That
3
would be
meters of
great.
flower dot blue. Now look
Yeah.
at that with that.
We want those 2 together, and the pair of us are arguing over who's going to
Yeah.
have the 2 together. Not that we do argue, Jane.
We don't. We just
We more do the
come
thing where we
polite,
go,
going, do you want
You
that?
could have it. No, you have it.
Yes.
No, you have
Let's
it.
give it the customers. Is
Or
what we
shall
end up doing.
Shall we cut it in half? Shall we cut it in half? Thing's always daft because actually we both want the big piece.
Yes.
So half the piece is not the thing, and that's the whole point.
This is a lovely
Big
bit of
old
comb
piece, yeah.
stripe. Now I could see a nice pair of dungarees for a child in this. This is orange, but it's like a tealy blue here.
Nice.
And I think that's lovely. And I could see dungarees.
Jane, I always
Children's
think with
dungarees in
these stripe
that.
as well, they just remind me a little bit of the beach tents,
Yes.
you know, and the Punch and Judy tents.
Yeah,
and all this has got a
absolutely.
very seaside feel to it for
Yeah.
me. I think that would be fabulous.
It's a nice
today's
piece there.
block.
That's a 3.3 metre piece.
You know,
So,
you might want to
um,
make today's block, sash it in something fabulous like a stripe.
Oh yes,
and make a
stripe would be
cushion.
wonderful.
Yeah,
This is flower net blue. This is a pretty one. Look at that.
really beautiful.
That's
I love
really
the colours,
pretty.
The colours together.
Yeah, that's very
Colours
pretty.
together was not the thing, Jane. The colours I like together.
3 metres on there. Now, your because these are ended bolts, you might find that one end is quite wobbly, and that's just because literally it's come off the end of the bolt. So it's what's there. This is flower net. No, it's flower dot, not flower
Yes.
net. This is flower dot contrast.
We're a bit of a fan of the flower dots, aren't we, you and I?
Do you remember
Because they're
the
wonderful blenders.
eye test used to do at school, and they
Yes.
used to test you whether you could see the letter
Yeah.
or the number in the.
Yeah, colour
This-
blindness test.
Yeah, this one reminds me of that.
Yeah.
You start to see shapes in it. It's beautiful.
They're just wonderful blenders. They just
Yeah.
go with so many of the Cave Facet
They
Collective
do.
fabrics. So if you have got a Cave stash, these stripes and these... I hate calling that one a blender, the flower dot, because it really is impactful
No,
on
but
its
it's
own.
lovely on its own. But
it
it would
will
make
go
great
in with a lot of
bag
the stuff.
linings and things like that. Now this is a bit of woven. This is Cave woven. It's wide stripe heather. And again, it's got this lovely heather purple stripe with the green. And because it's a woven, it's exactly the same on both sides.
Yes, which is a bit of a win. There's
Which is rather lovely. Clothing, this make great clothing as well. Tash did her wide leg trouser, didn't she, with one of the...
that one.
Has it?
It's gone.
Oh,
It's gone, Jane.
Well done. Good luck
the
to
flower dot blue, so's the comb stripe purple. They are flying out.
Wonderful. Now, I love this. This is Brandon, and I love Brandon's humour.
Yeah,
I love
me
his
too.
humour. I love his colours and his designs, but I do love his humour. And
I
this
really
is
love the
called Koi Polloi. And we love it. Koi Polloi. This is Delph, and this has been a really popular one. This is
Beautiful.
literally the last piece of this. But swim bags, again, alfresco tablecloths, cushions for your garden seats. If you've got someone that's a fishing enthusiast, you could
Yeah,
make them a lovely
definitely.
bag with that.
Definitely.
Really good fun. Really good fun fabric. And that is a nice 3.6 metre piece.
Great big piece.
Nice chunky piece there. Now this is Millefeuille. You can have great fun with this.
Well, you could, but it's sold out.
It's gone.
And you can see why. I mean, look at that. Look at the detail.
You're going to get so much from this.
If you've got this bolt end, well done you.
Yeah, EPP. This is the sort of fabric that wherever you cut it, you're going to end up with so many different designs.
Dressmaking out of these as well, I used the 108 wide Millefeuille, didn't I?
You
And the
did. You made a
sateen.
gorgeous jacket. This
Great
is
big
another
long wafty coat.
flower net green. This is a lovely, fresh, bright
really like
green.
these
It's
colours
really
together.
lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely, gorgeous, pretty fabric. That's a nice
The
3 metre
lilac
piece.
and the blue goes so well with the green there. It's
They
beautiful.
do.
It's really zesty and fresh.
Got some more rainbows here. This is Rainbow's Grey. Now this is a 3.5 metre piece, so that's quite a good chunky piece there. That's got lovely. This is a slightly more pastel-y tones, which is rather good fun.
It's my
You
favourite
can see this on
colourway.
the back of a child's quilt.
Yeah.
Cushions for your garden.
Playmat, things like that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely
really
love
this
this.
colourway. But we've made beach bags out of this as well.
Yeah.
And we got more of this in. It sold out. We got more of it in, and now we're at the end of the bolt.
The beauty of this, if you had this on the back of your quilt, you could literally follow the curves. There's a lot of people that
Not for your
will
quilting.
use the back
Nice.
of their quilt for their quilt design. So you quilt it from the back.
Fab.
So you get this overall
What a nice idea.
lovely curve going on there. That will really help, you know, when you get, sometimes you don't know what to quilt on your quilt.
Brilliant.
Sometimes your backing can let you
Oh, I like that,
you
Jane.
decide that.
Top
Now
tip.
this one,
Now, this isn't K Facet Collective.
this is a lovely bit of dashwood.
It is. It's B Brown for Dashwood Studio.
Look at that. This is horses.
Yeah,
Horses.
it's in a collection called Animal Magic. And you can see why.
This is the sort of fabric that you think, oh, beautiful horses. And then you look at it. There's hearts in here, flowers, there's little birds,
Yeah.
little tiny birds there. They're beautiful. Butterflies. It's all sorts of things. And again, if you like your EPP, you're going to get lots of potential for fussy cussing here.
The fine detail as well, even
Yeah.
on the tail.
Little
There's lots of
flowers.
tiny flowers. And actually, you know, I looked at that initially. I was like, oh, there's a little bird there, but no, it's not. It's the tail.
Should we go close up? Because
And you've
it's
got
a
the butterfly. I
beautiful
think it needs
detail
it.
on there.
I really think we need to see that one close up.
It's got fabulous. Look at that. Oh, let's get it in focus. Back a bit, back a bit, back a bit. There we go. Can you see that? You see the butterfly there? On there. Down a bit here.
Stunning.
There's the
Absolutely
butterfly.
stunning. I love the birds.
And then the little bird.
And all the flowers. There's so many different ones.
Yeah.
It's so pretty.
Really pretty colours that you can have fun with planes accenting those.
Yeah.
You'll have a really lovely time with that fabric.
Jane, I think that would make lovely bags. I think it would make really cute dresses or
Yeah.
aprons or pinafores or
Yeah.
there's so much fun you can have with that one.
So much
Or as a quilt
potential.
backing, or
Yes.
using in your blocks.
Yeah,
You've got
because you
great
can fussy cut
opportunity to-
your
yeah.
horses here and
To make the
have.
blocks.
There's a 2.5 piece, so it's a nice piece.
Yeah.
Nice good size piece
Imagine
there.
cutting those blocks with those horses in there.
Oh yeah, you
Oh,
have
loads
lovely
and
fun
loads
with
of
that.
fun. Loads of fun.
Absolutely.
But those are available now, as you probably gathered by the Sorry, that sold out. Sorry,
Yes.
sold out Scrabble that we had
People
going
are
on there.
getting that really quickly.
They are, and on Facebook we have, Sylv says, there's nothing like the joy of discovering that something matches fabulously in your own stash. Sue's had an absolute joy of matching some
Yes,
some fabric.
there is. It's a lovely feeling.
But when you have got fabric in, and then you can pull it and go, that's perfect for this project, that's just
Yes,
such
and you can
joy.
get on with making straight away.
Absolutely.
Because you find a pattern that you want to do, and you do. You want to make it absolutely now, this minute. It really fires your imagination. And then if you go to your stash and you haven't got the fabric, you get a bit,
This is so true.
I
And
have
it's
to go
same
to the
with
fabric shop
interfacing.
now.
Isn't it the same with interfacing?
Yeah.
And that's why we do our interfacing bundles. So when you see those deals come up and you get the opportunity to stock up on some
keep it in your
interfacings,
stash,
have those there. I always make sure I've got things like the medium weight interfacing. You can get the metre packs of those. Have them in your cupboard, because you can guarantee when you've not got some, you need some for a project.
Absolutely.
It's having that free afternoon, isn't it? Thinking, do a bit of sewing and then pulling your pattern, I'll make this, and not having a key component, it is so frustrating.
Yeah, it is frustrating.
But those fabrics, you'd have plenty for a lot of your projects.
Absolutely.
These here, Jane, are our half metre heavens.
Yes.
Now, these aren't live now. They're live at midnight tonight. Natasha made... You know what she's done, Jane?
She's taken it with her.
She's taken them both with her to her house, because she's going to fill them full of goodies for the children.
Yeah.
If you missed yesterday's show, Natasha made the petal platter, which was wonderful.
It was.
A beautiful platter made out of a half metre heaven, basically.
Yeah.
2 half metres of fabric. The pattern is available as a download, as is Monday's chubby bottom purse.
There we go. That is the cutest thing ever.
Little chubby bottom pouch, which is great because you can fit a lip balm and all sorts in there. But yes, the half metre heaven make for yesterday was the petal platter, and we have that pattern available. These I'm already visualising as petal platters.
Yes.
It's what you do, isn't it?
It is. When there's been a recent make, you think, oh yes, this will be good. It's like our beach bag pattern is just ideal for half metre heavens as well, isn't it? And some of these prints we've got today will make beautiful bags.
Absolutely.
But they'll also make fabulous petal platters for your garden. It's like a tongue twister this morning. For your garden table. You know, when you sit in the garden and you've got like the nibbles on your... It's lovely.
I heard someone yesterday said we should put poppers and call it the popper petal platter.
Can you imagine?
Try and say that 5 times
yes,
fast.
I think somebody said, didn't they, to say that 5 times fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, let's go overhead and have a look at the half metre heavens that will go live at midnight tonight.
Yes. There are some half metre heavens in our stock already, which are beautiful, but these, you won't be able to get them till midnight tonight. And I know some of you sit and wait because I've seen what you do.
We see you.
We see you.
We see you.
Look at this. This is, I don't know what it's called actually. Is it called Bugs? Rainbow Garden it is.
Yeah, the collection's Rainbow Garden. I think that is the Rainbow Bugs.
They're beautiful. They're like, there's little floral details on each of the bug and sort of a rainbow ombre going through that.
Beautiful.
And we've put that with peacock, which just picks up the turquoises and all of that beautifully and makes the other colours pop as well. The yellows and the greens really pop in that. So that's a beautiful one. You could have fun with that, making some really nice things.
Totally good.
This one is a little bit of Lisa. This is the Utah's Floral.
We've had this one before, but it literally was a couple of years ago and it sold out.
And this is with...
We're bringing it back.
Is it with scarlet or crimson?
Crimson.
Crimson.
Yeah.
Which just picks out these reds in here beautifully. Gorgeous Lisa fabric with the metallic hints in there.
So if you did miss out on this one before, I mean, 2 years is a really long time to wait for it to come back.
Yeah,
but
well, you
here
may
it
have
is.
used it and you might think, oh, actually, I really enjoyed working with that fabric.
This
so
is the last of this fabric as well.
yes, I don't think Lisa's
have
making
no
more,
more.
is she?
Well,
she's
if she is,
discontinued.
we certainly have none here.
She's discontinuing some of her lines, but she is making more, I think. This is My Hippos Don't Lie. We love the name of this fabric.
Do.
And we love these hippos.
And
All
the neon elements as
yeah,
well. Look at the fish.
There's lovely fish on here. The butterflies and the birds sitting on their back or on their head.
Love
They've
them.
got gorgeous faces, these hippos. And this is with a bit of aqua.
Yeah, which just...
There's
find
a little
it
tiny
in the
flash of it
birds,
in the birds and the
butterflies.
butterfly
Yeah.
wings, which works beautifully.
I don't know how well you can see that on the screen, but trust it is there, and they look spectacular together.
Yeah.
This would be another great beach bag choice, wouldn't
Oh,
it?
absolutely. This is the sort of fabric that when people look at it, it's going to make them smile.
Yes, definitely.
And they'll be like, where have you had that from? And you're like, I made it myself.
Oh, yes. All the smug.
Yeah. So this is the brollies in green.
Yes. So you saw this a moment ago in the bolt ends.
Now, we couldn't decide. So we
No.
put it with a bit of red,
We have.
which works beautifully.
It's Natasha's choice.
And then possibly a safer choice, depends on how you look at it, marine.
Yes. Which is your choice.
Both work wonderfully.
They do.
And, you know, there's a project, there's a quilt.
Be fabulous, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
And you have got the option of grabbing one of the bolt ends if you can get them, if they haven't already flown out the
If
door.
they haven't gone already.
Oh, poor Sue missed out on the Millefurioka. She's quite upset about that, I think. Well, you know, I'm ever so sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, they come, they go. Grab and quick situation.
Yeah. Now this is beautiful. This is a bit of Dashwood, Beth and Janine, Blossom Days, and this is the cranes. Now we had this, didn't we? There's not much left of it. Well, this is the last bit of it.
Absolutely.
And we've put this with pink because that is really just what it needs. It's just gorgeous. It's such a pretty print with the cranes. And again, there's all flower detail on here that is so pretty. And we only have 4 of those. So again, you have to be quick off the mark with that. Now this is a beautiful one. This is the Adrienne Laban Mardi Gras. I love this fabric. This fabric has got so much potential.
It's got it all going on, hasn't it?
It is lovely. Great for bags. Beach bag with this beautiful, is it sunshine? Corn yellow. Corn yellow. It's beautiful, bright yellow lining. Your patchwork. Again, if you're an EPP, you're going to have so much potential from this piece of fabric. You've got your dark hues there, your bright hues, lots of different patterns. You could make a whole quilt just with that ½ metre piece in hexes or different shapes. And it would look stunning.
It absolutely would.
So you've got that one. Now then, this is just crying out to be a beach bag. Is it not? With the lollipops on it.
I'd have said so.
Ice creams.
Wouldn't be wrong, would it?
Nice lollies. And I think this is Sky. Yes, it is.
And we have no more of that one.
Yeah, this is a beautiful
We have it
Macawa.
in the white. We do have the lollies on white, and that's available by the ½ metre today. In fact, you'll spot a cheeky, tiny, weeny discount on the little on the pool party.
Yeah, we've not got much left of the pool party, so
we really haven't. It will be going chopped up into bits very, very soon. So that one already has been. The others, they will be soon.
yeah. So that's beautiful, isn't it? With the sky.
Makes me want an ice cream, Jane.
It does actually, doesn't it? It's very summery.
I like the watermelon looking ones.
Yes,
They look fresh and inviting.
absolutely. This is another one of my favourites. Every time I look at this, I'm like, I need to have some of this.
You and I have done this already, haven't we?
Look at it, it's beautiful. And again, as a quilt backing, you've got a pattern to follow here.
Yeah.
This is like clamshells.
What I will say about this is if you are a Tula Pink fan, and that's where this fabric's come from, is Parisville, Deja Vu, her collection. If you're a Tula Pink fan, this fabric in your stash will go with so many of her beautiful fabrics. And you'll see that in a moment. We've got some here.
Look at it with the hippos don't lie.
Looks great with the hippos don't lie.
Perfect.
Looks great with what's coming up as well.
Yeah. We have got Hissy Fit, another beautiful name. I love the way she names her
I
fabric.
do as well.
These are both with azalea, so
because azalea is a good fit for Tula
but
Pink.
if I put that on there, for that, you can see this
Colours
is a
are
different
superb.
collection to this, but the colours, her dye palette works across. She's a bit like Tilda, isn't she?
Yeah.
She works with the same colour palette, so any collection works beautifully together.
Absolutely. So that's Hissy Fit.
There's only 2 of these,
Yep.
so be kept, quick on the mark with that one.
And then the next one is a different collection again.
And this is,
Neck for Days. Look at that.
look at that,
Which again,
works beautifully.
fabulous.
Now the next for days is with the amethyst. Is that amethyst?
Yes. Now, we had Neck for Days with amethyst before. It sold out in milliseconds. We have found out that we have got this one unit here. And so that will be a fastest fingers first situation.
Yeah. That's going to be a sit-up.
That was going to be
at 11:59. Get your finger on the button.
Yeah, press that button quick.
This one's with azalea, and this is another piece of Hippos Don't Lie.
Yes.
Again, I think this is the final piece of this, isn't it? And
Yes.
again, look, with the teals and the turquoises there, looks fabulous. And we've put that with a bit of spearmint.
We have.
Which looks rather
Which
stunning.
again, we had that loaded. It sold out. We found we've got one last unit. That is a quick reload and a last chance saloon. It is.
So this piece here is called
Fans.
Imaginatively, and that is with azalea.
It is.
Which is rather stunning.
Beautiful.
So those are your half-metre heavens.
Gorgeous, Jane.
Don't miss out.
And then where do we put all the
Where do we put
things?
it all?
But today's show.
Today's show is our calendar quilt.
Today's show is we're going to be on the beach.
Yes, let's go to the beach. Down on the beach. That's this Cliff Richard record, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. On the beach. I won't sing any more, I promise.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure though, Jane? After the show.
After the show, when nobody else can hear me. And in the warehouse, you've got the acoustics, which is fine.
Yes, and what we lack in vocal ability, we make up for in enthusiasm, don't we, Jane?
Absolutely.
Pair of us.
Gemma's got a beautiful voice.
Oh, I haven't.
Mine not so. But we harmonise quite well.
Perhaps it's a reflection of how beautiful your voice is the fact that you think I've got a good voice. Jane, we have a very quick recap of what everyone's missed. If you've not been doing the calendar quilt, where have you been?
Oh, yes.
We started this in November last year with January's block, December for February's and so on. So we're working sort of 2 months ahead to get those kits to you so that you can make your blocks. And then you can either use your blocks to make the quilts, although a lot of these kits are very generous, aren't they, Jane? So
you would have enough to make 2 blocks, so you could do both.
And your perpetual calendar. So you might just need a bit more binding fabric, things like that. But
yeah,
they're easy enough to pick up, and the fabrics are available on the website.
I think we've tried to make sure that there's enough for the binding and for the framing. So I'm fairly confident you will get both. But you'll probably need more backing fabric, but you'll have some plains in your stash that you can use for your backing. These make great bag fronts, cushion covers, mats, whatever you'd like to use them for. So we started in January.
I'll go overhead because we can't see January's block behind us. There we go.
We've got Frosty Flakes. Now we have got a few of these kits still remaining. So if if you're just joining us and you're thinking, oh, I'd quite like to have a go at that. I quite like that idea. We did still have some of the kits available.
Now that was some English paper piecing, wasn't it, Jane?
Yeah, we used the hexiforms there. There's 2 different colours, so it's slightly shaded to make the snowflake. You will get your metallic thread in the kit. You get your fabrics, the background, the binding, and you also get some of these jewels.
You do while stocks last.
If
we've got them, we will drop those in for you.
And you can add those on if you wish to. Obviously, if you're making this for a child, you wouldn't put these on.
Little child. No.
A small child, because of the danger of them coming off and maybe being swallowed. And if you were putting it in the quilt, maybe you wouldn't want to because of it being washed. But for your perpetual calendar effect or cushions, it'd be lovely. Yeah. So that's January's block. Then we went to February and we did a little bit of fabric weaving.
We did.
And reverse applique. So you've got your 3 batiks in there and your background fabric. Now this background fabric is a tone on tone. You can't really see it, but there's little hearts on there.
Beautiful.
It's really pretty.
And Jane, you're learning different skills with each block then. This is kind of the point,
yeah, this is the whole point. I mean, there's a lot of applique, but there's different styles of applique, but there's also some other elements just to give you a taster so that you can have a go at it, decide if you love it and want to do more of it, or whether you think, well, yeah, okay, that's fine, but I'm not going to do that again.
Well, quite. Jane, before you move on to March, the February block that involved the fabric weaving it's a simple technique.
Yes.
As long as you are able to pin down your pieces and work methodically. Now, when we went to air with that show, we were supposed to have felt mats.
Yes.
Lovely thick felt mats to pin down to, and that stock got delayed. So if you haven't yet made your February block, or perhaps you wanted the felt mat and you didn't get one at the time because they weren't available, They are on the website. We have got those tagged next to that kit.
They're really handy to have. If you go to workshops and things like that, they're great to have in your bag as your own little individual pressing mat.
They're not a pressing mat like this. They are a thick felt mat that you can pin into and anchor your pieces down.
They're made from wool, so they have a smell if you use the steam on them. But if you like that smell, it's rather nice.
Yes.
This is March. Windy days. We've got a bit of patchwork here, applique, bonded applique, and some free embroidery stitch in there to make that little cloud with these little chubby cheeks. You want to squidge those cheeks. Then we went into April, March winds, April showers. Again, this is padded applique, so there's a bit of wadding behind the cloud there to give it a little bit more texture and moviness. And if you were making this for a child, you could put some crinkly in there to make it nice and crinkly.
Bit of insulated wadding would do that,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
sparkle blenders. That's bonded applique with free motion embroidery over the top, and then some bias. We make our own bias with this using the 45-degree line on our ruler, just to get that gentle curve for the rainbow. And again, this would make a beautiful bag front. And then we all know that March winds and April showers bring forth May flowers.
They do.
So this is a traditional Baltimore style block done on the ring. Again, we'd make a little bit of bias to go on there. This is looks like it's needle turn applique, but we've used a technique for the machining where you use the same fabric over and then you turn it through.
It's a little cheat, Jane.
It's a little cheat which makes it nice, and we showed you how to use your hemming stitch to sew around your shapes if you didn't want to do the straight stitch over the top. So that gives you a nice effect. And I did a little bit of hand quilting in there to get that cross hatch effect in the middle. Again, you could do that on your machine. It doesn't have to be done by hand. The whole point of this is that you get the options to take your time, do a bit of slow stitching, or you can, if you're not into your slow stitching or your hands can't manage it, you've got the options for doing it on the machine as well. Then we went to June and we did June flowers, summer garden. Got a nice buddleia there with the daisies and a butterfly, all bonded applique with the free motion applique over the top.
Fabulous.
This is Gemma's favourite.
Yep.
This is Summer Fate, Garden Party. We've got a little bit of hand embroidery on there with the lazy daisy stitches. Again, bonded applique with the free motion, little accents of embroidery on there. You've got lots of potential on there.
I love how clever that one is, because we saw the demo of that last month. It really wasn't difficult, but just super cute.
Yeah.
Super cute.
Really lovely to do.
And it looks really effective.
Gemma was able to get close up with her camera, and
yes.
she actually picked up her camera picture on
yeah,
the
on
video,
our cameras.
on our cameras. So you could see the close up at the same time. It was very clever.
Well, we have a go.
So, yeah, if you want to look back at that, I can't remember what date that was on, but it would have been
9th of May.
9th of May.
Yeah, 9th of May.
And then we've got today's block, which is August, which is on the beach, Sandcastle.
Which is right in the middle there.
Yeah, behind you.
It's behind you, James.
Just there. Again, it's bonded applique, which we're going to talk about in a moment, with a bit of free motion embroidery over the top.
Yeah.
Quite a simple one. I think by the time I got to August, I was thinking about the people that like their gardens and things and might not have as much time for sewing as they normally do. But obviously we're a bit in front, but that's fine.
And then in the coming months, we have these 4 more blocks, don't we?
Yeah, so we've got September. A nice bit of patchwork. There's a bit of foundation piecing here. Not complicated,
no.
But it gives you a little taster to have a go. We've got October. Harvest with a harvest moon.
I have 3 favourites, Jane. That's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we've got November, bonfire night for me, November means.
Super duper, isn't it?
So this is some of our lovely sparkle blenders.
Yeah.
This is foundation pieced. Again, not a complicated one. It's made in quarters, comes together nicely. And then we've got December, and I haven't quite got round to making December's individual one.
Let's move this so we can see it.
But it again, it's a Baltimore style wreath, Christmas roses and holly, a nice Christmas bow. And again, I've done a hand quilted crosshatch pattern on there. You can't really see it close up, but we'll get one done and you'll be able to see it.
Stunning.
So you've got 12 blocks there that give you lots of potential, lots of potential to have a go at a little bit of something, a different technique, just to see how you do it, and then you might want to carry on and do more of it. So that's the idea behind it, just to progress you into different styles.
And the instructions for today's make are available in digital or printed format. They're on the website now. If you're shopping with us for the first time, welcome, hello. And it's natashamakes.com. You can either click the Watch Live page or the Workshop Wednesday page. Scroll down and do click View All to see everything we have available today.
Yes.
But we have today's block, we have previous blocks. There's all manner of things for you to view on there. Jane, today's kit,
Yes.
they're just getting lots.
Yes.
I think is what we just need to say.
You're going to have quite a lot for your stash in this kit. You've got your marine blue, which is for the binding and the framing of the block. Now, a long quarter would normally be enough for both, but because we've got a little bit, and I mean a little bit, we put a 1/2 metre piece in for the bucket handle, bucket spade rather. Then we've got our lovely sand colour batik for the castle and the sand. We've got this gorgeous turquoise for the sea. We've got a long quarter of the red. Now again, that's more than you need for the bucket and the flag.
For sure.
Yeah. And then we've got a salt batik of the yellow, which is for the bucket handle. Again, more than you need. Then we've got these beautiful sparkle blenders, which are the ones I've used for the shells. And again, way more than you need.
You have loads left over for your own piece.
Yeah, you can do all sorts of things there. You can put more shells on your block if you want to. You've got your bonder web for your applique, and then you've got some interfacing. Now I use the interfacing on the back because there's a bit of free motion embroidery on it again, so that will just give you the stability to. It tends to pucker less when you use a stabilizer on the back. So this is medium weight interfacing. It's iron on, so when you get it, you'll feel one side's rough, and that's the adhesive. And one side smooth. So it's the adhesive side that goes onto the wrong side of your block before you start your embroidery. So that's today's kit.
Great.
A nice amount of fabric, beautiful colours, and all of the interfacings that you'll need. Right, let's make it then, shall we?
You better had.
In your pattern, you will have all your templates for your shapes. So you've got your castle and you've got your bucket and your shells. Now the heavy line is the line that you will mark on your interfacing, and then there's a mouse not working.
Teeth in, Jane. Put
a finer line which sort of depicts the machine embroidery.
Yeah.
So you've got your sandcastle there, you've got your 3 shells, your bucket, your spade handle, your bucket and your bucket handle, and then the left flag that goes in the top of the castle.
Great.
So with your bonder web, you are going to place it over the top and you are going to trace around your shape with a pencil. You can tell I've used a different template. Don't worry about that. You will get that done. So pencil on the smooth side. On your bonder web, again, the bonder web has a rough side, which has a slight glisten to it. That's the adhesive, and a smooth paper side. And it's the paper side that you draw on. So these are in the mirror image of what is on your block, because when you actually come to bond it then onto the reverse of your fabric and then cut round it, it'll be the right way round for the block. So you will cut all of your shapes out. So when you use your bond web, you draw around your shape, you then roughly cut around the edge of your shape.
But with some space, right?
Or with a little bit of space, and then you will iron that onto the reverse of your fabric. Quite okay to use a dry iron, with this. You may want to use a pressing cloth or your Teflon sheet just to protect your iron.
A bit like Fat Jane.
Yeah. Well, this is why we do this little bit of extra around the edge.
With the iron, Jane.
Yeah.
Don't be telling me that now.
It's just with Bondweb, sometimes one little corner will flick up and you'll just catch your iron with it. It comes off quite easily when your iron's cooled down.
That's enough, Jane.
Yeah, that's
Have
beautiful.
I done a good job?
Yeah,
There we go
wonderful. Give it a few seconds just to cool down because it gets quite warm. So what the iron does, on the back of your Bondweb, there's like little dots of adhesive. And the heat will just spread that adhesive, which is why we don't cut it right on the edge, because sometimes that adhesive will come through the edge, which is why I say, you might want to put your Teflon sheet or your pressing cloth on the top of there. Baking parchment also works well. It just protects the base of your iron. So when we cut this on the line now, on our actual shape, we've got a nice clean cut of adhesive against the shape, so it will bond right to the edge. Now, although Bondweb is a very good adhesive on here, if you're going to wash your item a lot, you do need to sew over the top of it, because eventually through washing it, it will come away from its background. So it always does need to be sewn over the top, whether you use a blanket stitch or a satin stitch, or like I do with the free motion embroidery style, straight stitch, whatever you want to use, just to hold it down onto there. If you're not going to wash it much, like if you're making the calendar that you're probably not going to wash that often, if at all, you can just bond it.
Yeah, if you want to.
But then you wouldn't get your outline shapes. So
you've got a little bit of outlining doing, but also a little bit of detail, which we'll talk about later.
Yes.
Which is quite nice. Nothing too complicated, but it just adds that little extra element, doesn't it?
It does. It adds the extra sort of dimension to your project, which is all good fun. And of course, don't worry too much, particularly with your sandcastle, about it being a regular symmetrical shape, because let's face it, when we make things out of the sand, they're not very often symmetrical and architecturally correct.
Start falling down and all sorts.
Yeah.
Jane, when you're cutting these out, you're not going to use your best scissors.
No.
Decent scissors, but not your best ones.
Good scissors, your second best ones. Ones that, you're not too worried about.
Because you're going through that paper carrier layer.
Yes, you are. And, adhesive as well. So it is going to work. Blunt your scissors over time, not straight away, but over time. So yeah, don't use your best fabric scissors.
So what we're saying is, if your scissors have got a little bit tired and you're thinking you might quite like to treat yourself to a new super sharp set for your sewing, then do that.
Keep
but
these
don't
ones.
feel sad about the scissors that you're relegating, because they'll have a purpose. And it'll be cutting your fabric that's bonded to your Bondweb and other jobs that you need your second best scissors for.
Yeah, for your zip, we're cutting your zip and things like that. That's what you need these for. So I've done all of the other pieces.
Here's some you did earlier, Jane.
Yeah, all ready to go.
Fabulous.
So we've got, there's our bucket handle.
And you have drawn your little quilting lines on your shells just to give yourself a guide for later.
Yeah, which was a bit silly, I realised after I'd done it, because I've done it in heat erasable pen.
Excellent.
So as soon as I iron them on, those lines will disappear.
So do as Jane says and not as Jane does.
Exactly. But what you can do, because your fabric is quite light, you can, once you've bonded it all on, you can go back and put, I quite like to put my template on a window.
Nice.
And then the light shines through and I can see the lines, and then you can trace it onto the top.
Perfect.
So to take the backing paper off, once you've bonded it on, I always use a pin. Just scratch it along the top there and get my pin underneath. You can see how that's gone underneath there, and that just lifts the paper off and you'll be able to pull that off.
Again, not one of your best pins.
No. And when you look at your fabric, if you decided that you were going to take all your bonded paper off and then you walk away and you come back and you're like, oh God, which one's the bonded side? Because by now it's smooth, so you can't even go, oh, well, that's the rough side. But actually it's very smooth, so you can feel it against your fabric. But if you just hold your fabric to the light slightly, you'll see it's got a bit of a sheen to it. so you can tell which is the bonded side. I wouldn't recommend trying to flick the paper off by running your nail against the edge of it. You're just going to fray your fabric. So this is why I use the pin method, just scrape it through in the middle and then that will come off. It does get a bit staticky, so it likes to cling to you and everything else. So
you find it everywhere.
Just bear that in mind. That's my interfacing for later. Just place you just build your picture up now. Place your sandcastle virtually in the middle so that you've got it evenly spaced, slightly above. Now you might want to put some interfacing or something behind this castle before you do this, just because it does show the blue through, but we'll just iron that on.
And you've got plenty of interfacing to be able to do that, haven't you,
you've
Jane?
got that. So if you were to do that, you would iron your interfacing, because it's only one-sided. You would iron your interfacing onto your fabric and then you would bond web it, because your fabric side is available just one-sided on the interfacing. So then you just start to layer everything up. So we'll put our bucket on, just sort of referencing
should we get the front cover so we can
just referencing your main image.
So it's a lovely thing to do, you know, if you've got small people and they want to layer these bits up and then you do the ironing bit.
Yeah, you can help them do that. What you can do on your bucket is you can draw your line to denote where the inside of the bucket will be. Again, I'm doing this with an iron away pen, so it will disappear, but what does quite often happen with your dark colours and your iron away pen is it might leave a white mark, so just be aware of that. And then you've got your line then to just put your spade against.
Jane, if people wanted to press their bucket into place and then put their handle on and press that into place afterwards, there's nothing to stop them doing
nothing
that,
to stop them
there?
doing that. So you can
You're
do
gonna
it.
put all three bits on, Jane, and hope they don't move.
Well, you can
You
can do this. You can do it. And that's the handle. So
put your iron straight down, don't smush, is the order of the day, isn't it?
So once you're happy with the placement of everything.
Ready, Jane?
Yeah.
You're trusting me?
Go for it, Gems.
Crikey bobs.
You have got a few seconds of grace with Bondweb. If it does move while it's still warm,
Oh no!
it will come off.
Don't do this. No. What fingers? We'll use
the pin.
Use some tweezers. That's the other thing. Don't put your Bondweb the other way up.
Yeah.
And sticky it to your iron.
This is what happens. We might have to cut another piece. We might still have enough Bondweb on there. Just ruin the iron. This is why you use a Teflon pressing sheet.
Right, going to use the
Let's
back
give
part
it.
of the iron, where there is no Bondweb now.
We might have to cut another one, but
No, I think that's stuck.
no, it's still stuck it. Yeah, that's fine.
Just need to clean the iron, that's all.
And if you think about where you're going to
We've
have,
all done it, haven't we?
yeah, every time your
Wouldn't be
flag,
real.
you can just draw a line there and place your flag on. If you do iron it the wrong way round and you get a piece of Bondweb stuck, and you can put your flag whichever way round you like to, really. Like
Just get the
Gemma's,
adhesive off while it's still warm.
Gemma is using an old piece of scrap fabric and giving it a rub, and it is bringing that off. Now obviously you've got to be careful because the iron is hot still.
I have a great big chunk of fabric. I'm not getting, dangerous with it.
But if you let your iron cool, it will come off.
I've got stuff to do, people.
Aspirin is
paracetamol.
Is good, and it's
Love that.
and you use it dry.
Yeah, but with a pair of tweezers. Hold your paracetamol with a pair of tweezers. Do not get your fingers near the iron.
Yeah, I mean obviously you've got to be careful that you don't burn yourself.
Yeah.
You've got your shells now, and you can put your shells wherever you'd like to. You can make more shells. You could do a starfish.
You could put some shells on your castle, couldn't you?
On your castle. You can make a starfish. Obviously they're not to scale. It's just artistic impression.
It is.
You know, I'm not a marine biologist. I haven't even got a
Are
clue
you
if they're
sure?
the right sort of shells.
Are you
They
sure,
just
Jane?
like the shapes. So once you've got
Move
those,
across so everyone can see.
yeah, once
There
you've
we
got
go.
those in place that you're happy with, bear in mind that you're going to have your binding on and your border, so you know, don't place it right
No.
down here. But once you're happy with where they are, you can
Shall
just
I move that one slightly?
Yeah.
I feel like I want to have some creative input.
Yeah,
Is
do that.
Is that allowed?
yeah, of course it
I'll
is.
rotate that one a bit. Listen to me taking liberties now.
It's fine.
Now we're going to see those lovely shell details disappear.
Yeah,
The heat erasable pen.
but it's quite easy to pop those back in after you've bonded them on. And again, as I say, you can take, this is still warm, which is why it's not drawing on it.
It's erasing as you draw.
Wait for it to cool down, folks. You've got your basic shapes on there. So then the next thing is you can start to do your free motion embroidery. So before we do that, we're just going to bond on our piece of interfacing. And again, I've just made it slightly smaller than the actual block.
So you press your seam open at the back, haven't you, Jane?
Yeah, just to give me a flatter surface to work on.
Nice.
And of course this will then protect the seam as well. Again, make sure that you've got it the right way round with the adhesive side against the wrong side of your fabric.
Yeah, because that would be a right old faff.
That will really wreck your iron.
That their boss was watching earlier. I don't know that she's still around now. She might not have seen us, you know.
Wreck her iron.
Yeah.
Her super
Yeah.
duper industrial.
Yeah. Vaporella, Polty Vaporella, super duper. Yeah. No, I don't think she saw that, Jane.
No.
They've got away with it, Jane.
Yeah.
No.
Phew. That's me. That's me not sacked today.
Yes, if you have Bondaweb mishaps that you would like to share with us, please feel free.
Yeah, it's not the first time, and I'm pretty
It
sure it
will
probably
not
won't
be
be
the
the last.
Probably not the first time this year, Jane. I'm pretty sure we did it not that long ago. But, you know, it is easy done. It is easy done.
Which is why
Especially
I
when you're
say,
working
you
with
know.
the plain fabrics where both sides look the same. You know, it's
Yes.
very, very easy to do.
So yeah, good excuse for using your Teflon sheet or your baking parchment or anything else that you might want to do. So we'll just let this cool a moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark on my sewing lines.
Yes, Danny's just saying that you could pop it in the freezer for a bit and the lines will come
Yes,
back.
they will.
And absolutely, however, in the interests of providing a demo today, we can't do that.
No.
And we don't have a freezer to hand. But no, you could.
You could, absolutely,
do that.
yeah. Now you can use your templates as a reference, or as I've said, if you have the templates up against the window, or if you have a light box,
I love my light
you
box.
can place your block over the top of your templates and you'll see those marking lines across there. I can actually see,
I
as
can
I
see it from here, the white line.
yeah, that white line has appeared. So that's another thing. If you're using one of these iron off heat removable markers, just test it on your fabric first, because sometimes it does leave a ghost white mark, which you may not want.
Yeah. On other projects, you really may not want, but if you're going to be drawing in a stitch line, then the ghost mark's really helpful.
Yeah, because it will give you. And again, you know, don't worry about whether they're even or they're exactly spaced. I've gone a little bit high here on this line because, of course, I can always iron it off.
But also, like we say, it's a sandcastle.
Yeah.
And they're not meant to be.
It's an artistic impression.
Yeah, but they're not meant to be super uniform. They can be.
And again, with these shells, you know, I've just said they're not marine biology perfect. They're an impression.
Correct.
Of your shells. You can work out how you want your lines doing on it. So this one will go
very helpfully
up
put
there.
The lines in for everyone, just so
that they've got that reference, and you can see how those will go. You might want to put one in there, and this is just basically a spiral. to give the impression. Doesn't have to be particularly perfect, but there we go. You've got that spiral in there.
Lovely.
So that's just the detailing that you need to do. Now on mine, when I did my free motion embroidery, I kept the bucket handle and the spade the same colour as the fabrics, and I did the castle. I think I've done it in brown, but I've actually got grey in my machine, just to give the effects. And we did a bit more with the quilting, which I can show you on the block when we come to it.
Nice.
So free motion embroidery, you've got your thread at the top. I've got my embroidery darning foot on here. They're all different, they're all slightly different. Some of them are like a horseshoe shape like that, some are completely round. This one is clear plastic, as you can see, some of them are metal. They're all slightly different, but they all do a very similar job. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start on the sandcastle here. I'm going to use the hand crank at the side and just drop my needle in quite close to the edge of my applique, drop my foot down, and then I'm going to use the button that drops the foot into my fabric, and then I'm going to lift that needle out again, and that will bring my bobbin thread up. So I'm going to pull my bobbin thread so that the top and the bottom are approximately the same, and then I'm going to use the hand crank at the side again, and I'm going to drop my needle back into more or less the same place that it came out. Drop my needle into the fabric, then raise my foot so that it's up and out of the way, and with my unpicker or a needle or my little embroidery scissors, I'm going to get those two threads and I'm going to pull them so that they come underneath and behind the foot, so they're out of the way. So
Jane, before you start stitching,
yes,
can we just have a moment of sympathy for lovely Julia?
yes,
Because she says, well, that's me, Mr. Demo. Stupid pigeon flew straight inside the conservatory.
Oh,
Why
no.
can they not fly back out? Luna came to tell me.
Oh gosh.
Lola cornered it and I rescued it. Minor first
my
aid.
complete madness for about 30 seconds, I should imagine.
We've had a lovely peaceful hour here. Minor first aid and sent on its way via the front garden. Julia, the shows are always there for you to watch back later today, perhaps with a gin.
Yes.
I might recommend, or a glass of
In
wine.
a darkened room,
In a
thinking
darkened
calm.
room, with no animals potentially, and definitely no birds.
Yeah.
But yes. And again, Claire Angelina's late. She says, sorry, I'm late. Naughty Facebook didn't tell her again.
Naughty
You need to
Facebook.
set a reminder on your phone. But the shows are there for you to view back. And the previous blocks that Jane has done in this project and all manner of other things
Yes.
are there for you to watch back.
Yeah.
You can always do that.
They're available on YouTube and on
Yeah.
our website, aren't they? So you can always catch up somehow.
But what you've missed so far is some bonded applique. So Jane has cut and done bond web and applied all of those onto here. We're going to do some free motion quilting now, which will be super duper.
Yeah.
And you've missed some fabulous bolt ends. Now, they were flying out at a rate of knots. I'm not sure how many are left. So if you want to have a little peruse on the website, natashamakes.com, on the Watch Live page or Workshop Wednesday, then you can do that. But perhaps keep an eye on this as well, because
Yes.
I do like to see things come to life with a bit of free motion quilting.
Right, so we've dropped our needle in. Do you know, I had a bird fly into our kitchen at the beginning of the week, a little fledgling sparrow.
Oh.
And he got himself behind the bottles of squash on the side.
Oh.
And Daisy, our dog, was sitting there going, there's something up there, there's something up
Oh,
there.
it drives them mad, doesn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, I managed to move it out, and as I pulled the bottles back, it flew out through the door. So that was fine, because I'd got a tea towel ready to try and scoop it up, but we were fine. But sometimes they can make a bit of a mess, can't they?
They can. They can. Definitely, Julia, you've had a more chaotic morning than we have.
Yes. Right. So dropped my needle in, pulled my bobbin thread up and put it underneath the foot and behind. So it's all out of the way, ready to go. So that just stops your bobbin thread tangling up underneath, because now you are in control of the stitching. If you move slowly, you're going to get small stitches. If you move quickly, you're going to get long stitches. So whatever you do, if I don't move my fabric, it's just going to stitch on the spot. If I get my foot in the right place for the foot, It's just going to stitch on the spot. It's not going to move anywhere. So I have to move the fabric to get my stitching to go. Now I like to use a nice steady speed. And of course with this, you can move your fabric, but you don't have to move your fabric. You can just, you don't have to turn your fabric. I mean, you obviously have to move your fabric, but you can go along and around following your shapes. And the beauty of free motion embroidery is that it's quite nice if you go over it a couple of times. So you don't have to worry too much whether your line is completely straight.
Oh, it can look better sometimes,
It can look quite nice if you do it several times. So when I get to here, I'm going to go up and I'm going to do the flag. So I'm going to go up on that line that I've drawn, and then I'm going to go around my flag shape. Oops, wobbly. Again, as I said, it doesn't matter if it goes a little bit wobbly. Because I'm going to go around it again.
We really do not mind wobbling. It's an image of movement on a flag, Jane.
Absolutely. That's what we're going to keep telling ourselves.
Yeah.
And then back down. Oops. And then across. Going round the outside of the sandcastle shape. I've chosen a contrasting thread. You might want to use the same colours thread if you're not feeling particularly confident about your free motion embroidery, and that's perfectly fine. It's your block. You can do finishing on it as you wish. As I've said, you might want to use a blanket stitch or a satin stitch if you feel more confident with those stitching, and again, that's perfectly fine. That's a good way of finishing them.
Actually, a wavy finish on this is what you want, and you can achieve that with either a contrasting thread or a matching thread, can't you?
Yeah.
You can still get that idea of it being a bit wibbly, because if it looks perfectly straight sides, then that's absolutely fine. That might be what you like. And again, no judgment from here.
No, absolutely not.
If you give it a wibbly surface, you're making it look more like it's an actual sandcastle.
Along now on this line that I've drawn to give the idea that it is a castle. And again, we're not going to worry too much whether it's overly straight.
Nope.
You could if you wanted to. I mean, you don't have to do free motion. This is quite a large piece, so if you wanted to put your ordinary foot and just do straight line stitching, you know, it would work just as well. I'm going to come around and I'm going to go back down and do that part again. And I've got 3 rows of stitching on here now, but that's fine as well. You can do it as many times as you want to, really. Gives it shadow and texture.
So going back up the side to the top of the sandcastle.
Yeah, just going round again, round the edge. Just to give it that sketchy look, if you like.
I remember the first time I did something like this, Jane, I just got really, I mean, it wasn't even free motion, it was just me, you know, trying to straight line stitch around the edges. But I was working quite quickly and I had a really wobbly edge and I felt really annoyed and I thought I'd ruined it. Went round a second time and it looked great.
Yeah.
It's just...
It just gives that effect, and it's quite a nice, sketchy effect.
Yeah. It's really popular now to have it looking like you've, you know, had a bit of a scribbly hand draw around the edges. Just add something.
And what I did on mine is I went, just to give it the effect that it was sitting in the sand, so I just did a little bit of a squiggly line, and you can see this on the main image of the design. I just did a little squiggly line across there, again double stitched it, and then went along the bottom of the sandcastle quite close And I've come to my bucket now, so I can hop onto the bucket and stitch around the bucket as well. Don't be frightened to stop and adjust your fabric if you feel like it's getting away from you. Just stop, have a breathe, because you tend to hold your breath while you're doing it.
Trying to get the angle right today, where I can show everyone what's happening.
A bit wobbly there, so I'm going to go back down. Just give that another line of stitching, and then that wobbliness doesn't look so obvious. It looks like it was meant to be. Back up here now, I'm going to go around the edge of that handle, just keeping my threads out of the way. It's quite narrow, the handle, which is I think is why I chose at the time to do it in the same colour thread.
And if you're at home, you have got the time to change your threads and
Yes.
do that. And also, you know, we do always try and use a contrast here so that you can see what Jane's doing. If we stitch in the same colour, it just somehow doesn't come across quite so well on camera.
Trying to keep my hands out of the way as well so you can see what I'm
tricky,
doing.
Isn't it?
I'm going to go round that again just because I went a little bit off on the edge there. Go around the edge of the bucket here, which catches in the bottom of that spade, and go around the top edge, which will bring me onto my spade, so I can go down this edge here, and back up. Always try, if I can, to do as much in one go so that I haven't got too many ends to thread in. But, you know, again, it's up to you. If you want to change your threads to match the colours that you're using, that's perfectly
You
fine.
might quite enjoy sewing threads in.
Yeah,
And that's fine as well.
because it is quite relaxing.
Yeah, therapeutic, isn't it?
Gone and done the other side of the little bucket edge inside, and I'm going
as,
to go.
as much, Jane, as you've done a little bit of prep, you know, you've put some bond web on back of some fabrics and cut everything out. This hasn't taken long at all.
No,
to
it's
bring this block
quite
together.
a quick one, this one.
This would be really nice to
And we have
make as a
visited.
bag front.
Yeah, we have visited this bonded applique technique before, so, and the free motion. So it's, you know, if you've done the other blocks, you're going to probably feel quite confident with your free motion embroidery and your bonded applique. So that gives you plenty of opportunity. I would then go back round and do the inside of the spade handle on there. And then we go on to the shells, and again, just starting on the shells, you'll just go round the edge. So you want to just drop your needle in on the edge, drop your needle down. You need to have your foot down, drop your needle in, just give it a pull and it will bring the bobbin thread up. Put those threads out of the way and then drop your needle back down. Use my hand crank at the side just to make sure that I'm in the right place, and then I use my button on my machine just to drop that back in. Some of you may not have the needle drop button, in which case you can just use the hand crank at the side. And then we'll just go around the outside edge of the shell.
Oh, Jane, Auntie Lizzie's with us and she says, Mrs. C is loving this. It is lovely to watch someone, isn't it, with their free motion quilting.
Yeah.
A bit hypnotic.
if you don't feel confident with your free motion embroidery and you prefer to do a blanket stitch, you can always go back over with one of your fabric pens to put the detail in. You know, you can sketch it on the top, give it an iron, and that makes it colour fast then. So, you know, you can use different methods to enhance your shapes. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. You can do your own artistic impressions. You can put different shells on. You could put a starfish on if you wanted to. Some of you have got Cricut machines or Sizzix machines, and you might have shapes that you think, oh well, actually I'm going to use that instead, and that's fine too. And then we can just go around the outside of that shell again. And we can do all the others. I mean, you've got the idea now of how that all works. And then you'll layer that up like you would do with your ordinary quilting with a backing fabric, your wadding. You can use whichever wadding you like, which is your favourite. We've got lots of waddings you can choose from. And then on my actual block, on the block here, on the back of the quilt, on the back of the quilt, on the quilt, not on the back of the quilt, I have made the window shapes on the sandcastle, and then on this one, on the individual block, I've done wave shapes as well.
And that's actually on the front cover of your pattern.
So you can see all of that.
It's all optional.
It's optional, you know, you can do as much as or as little as you like. I have quilted around, and that holds the layers together. So you, as long as you go, you know, do the minimal is around the castle really, just to hold the 3 layers together. I've gone around the shells, around the edge of the bucket and the spade, just so that it's got something to hold the layers together. You can, you know, that's the minimum you would need to do really, but you can have fun making shapes on the sandcastle.
Yeah. I think actually, if we go overhead or onto maybe overhead or show, you can see the wave shapes in the one that you've done on the front where it hasn't got the windows.
Yeah.
And then further on into the pattern, when we look at the quilting section, and you've got all of these instructions here, then it shows you the little archways and the door on the instructions. So you have got all of those elements in there for reference when you come to do your own quilting. But you know, you may want to put your own spin on it. You may want to do something a little bit different, and we love to see it.
Yeah, we do, because
we really love to see it.
You make it your own.
Yeah, might want some shells on your castle.
Yeah, you do it the style that you want to do it to make it your own. I'm giving you the basics of the techniques. You can go as much or as little with it as you want.
Yes.
It's entirely up to you.
Absolutely. But we do like to see.
Yeah, we do.
We do like to see. And if
we
you
love
want
to see what you make.
Yes,
absolutely.
Then get a photo. If you want to share your makes with the whole community, and that's everyone who's looking at our website, anywhere in the world, then you can upload those on our Community Makes page. Alternatively, if you just want to show us here at Natasha Makes, you can email us a picture, info@natashamakes.com. Just make sure you pop on there for your eyes only.
Yes.
And Jane will love to receive those.
If you feel that you can't upload them onto the website, you can email them to us as well, and I'll forward them on to SJ. SJ always has to adjudicate them.
She does.
Because people like to be naughty and send us naughty photos.
That's a very good point. If you do upload an image to our website and you think, but it isn't showing yet, perhaps I didn't do it properly, you probably have. We just have to, when we've got a few collated, have to have a session of going through and approving or rejecting them, because people, they upload photos of the strangest things.
Yeah, so a bit naughty sometimes.
They can be quite naughty. Cynthia says, greetings from Ohio.
Hi.
Says, I'm behind on following your calendar quilt along, but I'm still enjoying all the different techniques and building my skills. Thank you.
Lovely. That's good to know. Thank you.
Thing. We are doing this so that you've got 2 months to complete.
Yes.
And you can have it ready for display this year. But if you can't keep up, that's okay too. You can still work on these.
Yeah.
And you'll have it hopefully made for next year
or whenever, because it's
Or
a calendar
whenever.
quilt. It won't go out of date.
Absolutely, it's not going to go out of date or fashion.
No.
But Jane, I do love the idea of making this block as a central panel for a bag for the beach or whatever else.
Or
And
you
I-
could use it in your
Yes.
book
in
cushion
your book
that you want to
cushion.
take to the
Yeah.
beach with your bag, with your book in and your sun cream and your secret pocket.
You could do that instead of that block.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it'd be gorgeous. And I have put the last little bits of pool party fabrics that we have got for sale on a 10% discount today.
Oh, nice.
So if you did want to buy some of those to be able to sash with, we've actually got some of the double-edged border as well, which sold out. It is your last chance to get hold of that. We've managed to get some stock. That's all we're going to have now. So if you did miss out on the Macawa double-edged border, it'd be gorgeous for dresses and bags and all manner of
Well,
other
we always
things.
we thought tablecloths as well because
Yes.
it'd look nice around the edge
Really
of a
lovely.
table. Yeah.
Really, really nice. So, yeah, grab those while you can. It's been lovely to have you with us. At midnight tonight, we will have the half metre heavens.
Yes, we all need to be quick on some of them.
Yep, some of them are limited in stock. On Friday, SJ will have her newsletter come out to you with her deals, so do keep your eyes open for that. There's some cracking ones this week. I know about these things. And then next week, we have you on Monday.
Yes.
Yes.
Here on Monday
Magic
next week.
Monday.
Magic Monday next week. We've got some Quilt As You Go pet mats. We've
We
got some
have.
gorgeous Lewis and Irene fabric.
We have.
That's going to be really good fun.
Yes. So beautiful, beautiful things for our cats and dogs.
Yes.
Which will be
Lovely.
Fabulous. Natasha has a new make for you on Tuesday. She's been on social media with a little sneaky peek of that image, asking for advice on what to call it. So, you know, you can help with that.
Yeah.
And then she'll be with you on Wednesday as well. In the meantime, we're going to go and have a lie down.
Yes.
No, we're not.
Look out for your Friday
Got lots to do.
Friday newsletter.
Yes. Do keep an eye out.
Keep an eye out for that. There's some nice things in
Do.
there.
It's been lovely to have you with us and to have your company. Yes, hello to Mrs. C. And we'd love to know how her sewing journey is going along.
Yes.
For sure. And we will see you on Monday. Take care. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.